Welcome everybody to Yolking Around. My name is Derek Mayo.
I'm Diana Gutierrez.
As we said before, we're bringing Spoketober
Yes.
to your table. So we have a compilation of scary stories, some historic scary stories even too, and that we'll dive into. And happy Halloween. This is being recorded in good old Hallows Eve.
Yes. I'm all dressed up, semi at least.
Yeah, for those of you guys that are listening, Diana is wearing referee clothing.
Yeah.
You remind me of that lyric in Drake's song that says, blow your pussy like a whistle or something like that? Or how does it go? Have you heard it?
Yeah. I'm not a referee, but I'll make your pussy whistle.
Yeah.
Or something
I'm
like
not
that.
a referee, but I'll make that pussy whistle.
Yeah.
With his soft voice.
Smooth.
Yeah, that's the way we start the podcast,
Yeah.
huh? We just went right into the pussy jokes, man. Jesus Christ, man.
Delve right in.
For those of you guys watching, they can see that we clearly have a different setup today.
Yeah.
With the mics, I decided to go with these beautiful stands that Bezos was able to
Good old Daddy
get me.
Bezos.
Good old Daddy Bezos.
I like him so far. I feel like, I don't know, I have more room.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I felt like
I'm more
we were limited
comfortable.
with the mic holder, and I don't know. I've been seeing other podcasts that have this sort of setup, and I'm kind of falling in love with it.
Cool. And you got some new angles too.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be working this camera. Hey, how's it going?
Hey there.
This is. I don't even know if you know how they say that people have good angles or bad angles and shit like that. But I don't know if this is my good angle. We would say, I don't think I have a good angle. I'm like a Picasso painting, you know? It's just like, just wherever you see me is just fucked up, you know? Just dismembered and awkwardly.
I definitely do have
placed.
I think I have a good side, and I'm glad that the camera's coming
Is that
from this
is that
way.
your
This
good
is
side?
my good side, yes.
For those of you guys watching, I didn't even know this. I know that you've mentioned a good side.
Yeah.
I just don't know which one it is. Left,
Mhm.
right. To me, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Heart. See, that's how you make your girl happy right there.
Yes.
Those random compliments during the day.
Yes. Gotta water the plant.
Gotta water the plant and take it day by
Nurture
day.
it. Oh my god, I have to water my succulent.
You know what? Now that you're talking about succulents and plants, at work, one of my coworkers left a little plant. And I meant to bring it.
Oh no.
Because I was watering it, but the holes in the pot, I was like, it's gonna leak, watch.
Yeah.
And it was very dry, so I'm like putting a little bit of water in the plant. And it ran.
Do you know what kind of the hole? Yeah.
What kind of hole?
No. Sorry. That was going through the hole, I'm assuming. The water.
Yeah. And I had I've worked with plants before, so I'm like, this is gonna happen. But hopefully, it looks so dry that I'm like, maybe it'll just suck it right up, you know.
We'll
but
see. You gotta go rescue it.
Yeah, I do. And I mean to bring it. Maybe I'll put it here,
Yeah.
and it'll be a little secondary decoration.
It'll be more
here
lively
in the middle. Yeah, I'm so sad that people can't see because of the angles that I have to work with, the little things. But you can show people your little pumpkin.
This is Harry Potter.
Harry Potter the pumpkin.
Yeah, he's a little. He doesn't have a smiley face or anything, but he's here. He's chilling.
For those of you guys listening, it's basically like this tiny little pumpkin.
It's a baby pumpkin.
With the little thing, the stem.
Yeah.
Growing out of. Oh shit! It rolled out. It's your fault, Harry. You're too round. And basically has glasses, the little mark, and then like a little part in the middle.
Yes.
Which is what makes I don't know why the little hair makes it Harry Potter, you know?
Harry
Potter.
Yes.
But like we were saying before, sorry, I'll fix him there.
You good.
Like we were saying before, it is Halloween. Hallows Eve.
Yes.
Like a lot of people like to call it.
Mm-hmm. It's a cooler name.
And do you know anything of the history of Halloween, anything like that, how it started? And
honestly, not really. Halloween was always depicted to me as a devilish holiday.
A devilish holiday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was actually doing some research on the day to talk about today.
Yeah.
And it turns out that at some point Halloween was something that was accepted by Christians.
Oh.
Yeah. It was when Christianism
It sounded right. I went with it.
was expanding, and it got to different different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And in Rome, there was these people that celebrated these like Hallows Eve type of thing. They normally did it on May 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
okay.
That's
my mom's birthday.
Yeah, like they did around May 1st or something like that.
Okay.
So the Christians went in and they were like, hey, we're gonna Christianize you, basically. And
or die.
Or die. Yeah, that was the second option. So what they did is they accepted these All Saints Day is what they call it.
I did learn about this. My French teacher actually taught me about this.
Yeah. So it was the All Saints Day and it was in some part of, Italy, Rome, all that area. European side. And the Christians came in and sort of accepted the All Saints Day and kind of made it theirs to be able to doctrinize the pagan Romans.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how you got taken, basically, as a way to persuade. That came out cool. The Romans that were not Christian, basically.
Oh, so do you know when the turnaround kind of started? When it started being more related to, like, what I was saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So even before that, this all started with the Celts. Mm-hmm. And they celebrated this Hallows Eve, right? And a lot of cultures that are inclined to harvest, which was a lot of the cultures back in the day, even here in the Western Hemisphere, they adopted these traditions that would come from the reaping and the sowing of their crops.
Okay.
So October 31st was the day that they I think it was either it wasn't October 31st. I think it was like November 1st. And they had these Hallows Eve
to reap the rewards of the harvest.
Yeah, one of them was Hallow Day or something like that, and then the Hallows Eve was the day before.
Right.
That's how it came being.
Okay.
And then Halloween is actually a derivative from the word Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, because English, and just evolution of language started combining the word, and then it became like Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it just basically got compressed.
Cool.
Yeah. So they started this celebrations, and how it got its negative or darker connotation was that they also believed that during that time of transition from life to death, because it's also getting colder, it's going to get darker, just like winter, right? Mm-hmm. And crops are going to die. So they believe that a good Hallows Eve was like a good way of letting go of that or transitioning. Okay. to the, it would be like last third, I would say, of the year.
Okay.
But anyways, so it was to celebrate the transition between good crops, mm-hmm. good harvest, and then death and no harvest. Also around that time, it was very important to have a good harvest because a lot of people would die because there was no food and there was no it was cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like today we can have still pretty much any fruit and vegetable throughout the entire year,
and there's also a thing that would happen that they believed, and this historian said this phrase that I loved, and it's like they believed that the veil between life and death was the thinnest.
Huh.
So upon this transition, they also had this belief that spirits would walk around. It was a thin time where spirits from other realms could come and visit them. Yes, exactly. in that transition. So that's kind of how it started getting its, evil, not evil, but just spiritual, mystic sort of theme. Yeah. This obviously started evolving, started getting to other places, and let me see. It was part of the Celtic calendar. Like I said, they basically had like two things, good harvest, and
then after, whatever.
Yeah, after death. And it's also known that a lot of cultures that have this sort of reaping and sowing embedded in their society have some sort of celebration of spirit and death transition.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's basically in a nutshell how it all started. Obviously, there's more to it, but yeah, that's a little synopsis of Hallows Eve or Halloween.
Well, look at there, learning things here.
And then obviously, eventually, it got to England. England adopted these traditions, and then Plymouth. Plymouth, Massachusetts. They came over here and they brought those transitions over to the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you would think, oh well, Halloween has nothing to do with Christianity, but history proves other way.
Yeah.
It was in fact adopted by Christianity to be able to doctrinize.
Wow. There's just so much misconceptions when it comes to Christianity.
Yeah. And then that's why, like in Mexico, there's Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Dia de los Muertos, which is soon, no?
Tomorrow, but I mean, when you're watching this, it would have been November 1st.
Yeah. That's basically why they also have some sort of recognition to past lives.
Yeah. I love that, though. Instead, for example, when I die, I don't want to have a funeral that's all sad and whatever. I'd just make it a celebration of my life, That's it. It's natural. Death is natural.
It's just another step, or maybe it isn't.
Maybe it's the end.
Maybe it's the end, and that is beautiful.
That's up to you guys to see. Yeah.
That is beautiful, because that would make this life very meaningful.
That's true.
How dumb are you if you're not trying to live the best life that you can live?
Yeah.
And the best life, I feel like, I don't know why it got to this to this side, but the best life is not necessarily like the good times, also the bad times. That's what makes the
bad times make the good times good.
Yeah. Yin and yang, baby.
Yeah.
But so that's how Halloween started, and we're gonna move on, and because you have some creepypastas set up for us, so I am ready to listen.
Yes. Thank you for that synopsis, by the way.
Yeah.
I have two, but I think we'll start off with one, and if time permits, we can read the second one.
Sure.
So, have you ever heard of the Russian sleep experiment?
The Russian sleep experiment. It's not like MK Ultra or anything like that, like mind fuckery and mind control type of thing.
Not mind control, but it's very psychological, like
mind control. Did you see? I just looked at that side because I thought the camera was over there. The camera's over here, you dumbass. No, but I haven't heard it. But I love the Russians.
You're gonna learn. So just a little preface.
Shout out to Russians.
Yes. And I'm gonna be reading this off the creepypasta site. This is not my words, okay? Just letting y'all know.
You're citing.
Yes. For those who don't know, the Russian sleep experiment is a supposedly factual account of experimentation acted out on subjects by the Soviet government and military in the wake of World War II. The experiment ostensibly meant to explore the effects of sleep deprivation on the human body, and was also used to test a new gas that could keep people awake for days at a time.
Oh, so they were making this gas that was like cocaine,
basically,
like floating cocaine.
Yeah. Essentially what I think they were trying to do was get the soldiers on this gas,
Yeah.
And just
have you gone to no, it would be something like, have you gone to the chamber?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You said you can't sleep for 3 days. Magnificent. Russians not need sleep.
No, and we were actually kind of talking about sleep. Was it yesterday? I watched Step Brothers for the first time.
Oh yeah, that shit was fucking hilarious.
That shit was so
dude.
funny.
That shit was.
Can't believe
hilarious.
I've lived that long without watching it.
I walked out of the movie theater. I told you.
Yeah.
I walked out of the movie theater when I went to watch it for the first time because I was in another path in my life, I guess.
You were hella Christian.
I was really Christian and
like hyper Christian.
Hyper. I wouldn't say hyper, but diaper. Definitely diaper. Diaper. Yeah, diaper. Like halfway. Not hyper, but like halfway there.
Oh, I thought you meant diaper as in like baby diapers.
No, also I was a
Okay.
baby Christian. But
they were sleepwalking, and I was actually going to investigate into sleepwalking, but I didn't have the chance to. But this has to do with sleep, so I think it's interesting as well.
yeah, we went on this tangent, but yeah, I ended up walking out of Step Brothers. But yeah, go back to your story about the gas. So Russians, gas, no sleep.
Yes.
That's where we're at right now.
The report documents the degeneration of those experimented upon. Individuals commonly referred to within the creepypasta community as the test subjects. The horrifying results of these experiments and the crazed, almost subhuman or demonic creatures it produces are often illustrated alongside the story, with one image in particular being representative of the entire myth. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations.
Oh, shit.
This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. So they didn't even have cameras.
They were just being observed then at this point.
Yeah, but through just like holes, basically.
Through holes?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Interesting. And then they were encapsulated in this fucking thick glass.
Yes. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. All right, so 5 people. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II.
Americans. I actually don't know.
I don't know. It just says it that way. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days.
You know you're gonna die. If you're a prisoner of war, you know, no, we're gonna release you. Actually,
We will.
We just gotta sign these documents and you'll be released in no time. They're gonna kill you.
Well, plus no one can stay awake for 30 days. Like, you'll die.
Yeah, well,
You'll die faster from a lack of
Jesus
sleep
did.
than lack of hunger.
Yeah, Jesus did in the desert.
Yeah.
There's a story.
That's Jesus, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, he did it. He went on a fast.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's Lent.
Yeah. But anyways, continue.
Yeah. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past. And the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were, and started to demonstrate severe paranoia.
So up to the 4th day, they were fine.
Pretty chill, yeah.
And then that 5th day, the last day, is when they started going cuckoo.
It's not the last day. It went on up to 15 days.
Oh, 15 days. You're right.
This is just when they started acting
just like
weird.
the first third.
Yes. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones and one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them. At first, the researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself.
That tells you that humans ain't shit, man. Even if you're both gonna die, humans ain't shit, man. You can't trust nobody.
Everyone's out for themselves, you know.
Yeah.
Looking out for themselves. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight.
On Facebook, imagine that.
Oh,
Fuck,
yes.
dude. If they had Facebook, they would have been a little more sane, or social media.
Yeah,
but
some internet.
Some internet. Jesus Christ. I'm like, I'm tired of smelling this guy's farts. Get me the fuck out of here, please. These guys snores. I haven't been able to fucking
Snores,
catch
they're not sleeping.
Oh, shit. That's right.
No
Fuck.
sleep at all. Imagine being
That's
awake
the whole point of the fucking gas,
Yeah.
dumbass, right here. Like,
It's
they can't
okay.
sleep, motherfucker. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
That tells you what kind of fucking... Sorry.
You're good. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers...
Were they fucking? Oh, no bedding. God damn it. I'm telling you, stop it.
You don't need bedding to have sex.
That's true. Well, I'm just saying because the bed would squeak. So
yeah.
they had no bedding. You said it earlier. See, I'm listening. But anyways, continue.
The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords.
What the fuck?
He was screaming that long and that loud, apparently.
Like just...
ripping out. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The two non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and passed them calmly over the glass portholes.
Got creative.
Yeah.
Got very creative.
The screaming promptly stopped. I mean, I guess you'd have to be creative. You're fucking bored, probably, and losing your mind.
I don't got a pencil, but I got shit in my hand. Starts making like, cave paintings and shit.
Yes. Oh, the screaming promptly stopped. So did the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at the very heavy level of strenuous exercise. So they assumed that they were fine, basically. Mm-hmm. They just were consuming enough oxygen for 5 people would.
Oh,
so that's why they thought that they were doing
like
fine.
The oxygen levels were like
normal.
Normal, yeah.
On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside of the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives. They were afraid to get any response from the captives. They were afraid were either dead or vegetables.
Are you still there?
Are you good, fam?
Are you good? We've not heard anything.
They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice response. "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day.
Midnight, that's a
very poetic.
Yeah, because that would be the 15th mark. That's why.
Well, they were actually it was supposed to go on for 30 days and it only went to 15.
Oh, okay. They were like, let's cut it halfway and then.
I'm not sure if that was their intention to stop it on the 15th day, but I think they were just trying something like shit out. Like they were being very unethical.
Yeah. They were just like, we're just going to go for 15 days instead of 30 and gradually work our way up or something like that, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and the soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subject's thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber.
What?
Blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. 4 of them were still alive and 1 was dead. They don't specify how they died, but their body parts, their chunks were like put into the drain. So like water was accumulating up.
So there's a water thing about what the fuck?
Yeah. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving, it says surviving in quotes, test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth as the researchers initially thought. So they were like picking at their own bodies, basically. But they were still alive, apparently. Closer examination of the
meth.
No. Closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were doing that shit to themselves.
Fuck.
I wonder if, because one of them died, I wonder if they just went to like intense on themselves or something. And that's
like
why
it
they
started
died.
with like a regular masturbation and then started getting too physical kind of thing. It's like, I'm tired of this.
Oh, yes.
I need to take it to the next level.
I'm sure they did masturbate, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I mean,
what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're a guy?
You're awake. You're awake. You're not
awake?
sleeping.
Yeah. Sometimes a good masturbation will put you to sleep.
But they can't sleep.
Exactly. So they were either jacking off a lot or not jacking off at all.
I don't know.
I don't know what kind of sexual appetite they might have had.
No sé. The abdominal organs below the rib cage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, while the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage.
What the fuck? So these guys were like zombies.
Basically.
Like walking corpse.
Yeah, but surviving, but like, not surviving at the same time.
Yeah, they were like holding on by a thread, literally.
Yeah. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects.
What the fuck?
The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that they were digesting their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. They were eating themselves.
They were able to see on the gosh, that image is just so grotesque, man. So imagine this, picture this. You're fucking seeing a gut in the ground.
Yeah.
Like what's that? The thicker one? The large intestine?
Oh, right.
And then you see these through the translucent lining of the intestine like a finger or something like that. Just
fuck.
Turning into shit.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's your own body. It's like
I hate having a good imagination sometimes because we talk about shit like this and I'm literally like movie mode on.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's disturbing, huh?
Fuck yeah.
Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternatively begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on.
No, I don't want to go. I'm done. I'm done here. I got to go. I don't want to clean this up. Come on.
Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't want to work there either.
I'm Russian, but not stupid. I'm not going in there.
Yeah. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off.
What?
And an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth.
So these humans still had...
I mean, are they even human?
That would require a great amount of strength.
Yeah.
To be able to fuck someone up like that.
Yeah.
And obviously you have not eaten correctly. You have not slept. How strong could you be?
I know. I wonder.
You should be weak.
I wonder what the gas was. They didn't indicate what the gas was. Would maybe look into that. I'm gonna look into that.
I'm telling you, it was cocaine. Too much cocaine will make
cocaine
you do
gas.
That. Yeah, cocaine gas.
Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident.
That I think that would have been me. I think I would have been the suicide guy.
I mean, with that, I think it's necessary to kind of bring up if you're feeling suicidal yourself, please seek help.
Yeah, this is for the sake of the story.
Yeah. I kind of want to plug the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline just because of that. It's 800-273-8255.
There you go. There you have it.
And you should also probably put a warning at the beginning that we mentioned suicide.
Okay.
In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. So these people are beasts.
what it reminds me of the movie Split. Did you ever watch that movie?
I've actually never seen that movie.
I think it's Split. Yeah, it is Split. The guy with like different personalities.
He has DID. Yeah. Dissociative identity disorder.
And then this thing is so strong. This personality is so strong. They call it like the Beast or something like that. And that he physically starts transforming into this being.
Oh, wow.
That he calls, I can't remember if it's the Beast or something like that. But he's beast-like, definitely. You see him crawl up through the walls and shit like that. He's a humanoid. Like he turns into something else. And you could see that his body chemistry changes, his voice, his mannerisms changes. Everything. With every different personality, yeah. Until he reaches this beast one that it's like his most dangerous one, because he starts going in a killing frenzy.
Wow, I'll have to watch that movie.
Yeah, it's actually it's a very cool trilogy.
Oh, it's a trilogy.
Yeah. So it all started with the Bruce Willis movie. We're gonna do a little parenthesis here. It started with the Bruce Willis movie, and I think the name of the movie is Unbreakable. I might be wrong because I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think it's Unbreakable. And then Split comes out, and then somehow at the end, well, I'm spoiling this fucking movie.
Oh no, don't spoil.
Somehow at the end they show that it connects to the first one.
Okay.
But this movie came out like I think way before this new one came out.
Okay.
You know, so
I mean, yeah, that would make sense. Bruce Willis time, you know. I mean, he's still alive, obviously.
Yeah, but they apparently connected because it was based on a comic. And then there's the third movie, which Samuel Jackson is like one of the main dudes, which is called Mr. Glass. And Mr. Glass comes in the first movie of Bruce Willis, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, but then they may meet the guy with Split, and then it's just like I still haven't seen Mr. Glass, so yeah, it's definitely a recommended trilogy that is slept on. A lot of people don't know about, but yeah, Split definitely has a second movie and also like a predecessor.
Okay.
With the
interesting
Bruce Willis movie. Yeah.
Cool.
But going back to the story.
Sure. Oh yeah, so they broke the ribs and arm of a doctor. Damn. When the heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out to the point where there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach, and just repeated the word "more" over and over.
What?
Weaker and weaker until he finally fell silent. So another one died. So now there's 3 left. 3 test subjects.
Just like this little piggy went.
Yes.
This little piggy went psycho.
It reminds me low-key of the Hunger Games. That's kind of aspect where they... You've never seen it or what?
I've seen the Hunger Games, but I don't know exactly the specific part that you're talking about.
Oh, I guess just basically they just throw in a bunch
of... Like the theme of it all? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just how they put them in an arena and they have to all kill each other.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back in his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier was holding that wrist as well. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy, the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood has triple the normal level of oxygen.
What? He had he probably had the best erection of his life.
Shut up. Jesus. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in the struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force of his own muscles had exerted onto them.
Fuck. This fool was, something else now.
Yeah. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed. He was unable to beg or object to the surgery. So this is the dude that was screaming earlier, like toward the beginning of the story.
He's like,
so he
blasted his fucking microphone.
Yeah, so he couldn't even object to being,
he was just mute.
Gassed,
he's mute.
Basically.
Yeah, he's mute.
And he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested, reluctantly, that they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs or attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin.
He didn't peep.
No.
He didn't.
No.
Nothing.
The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically possible for the patient to still be alive.
What the fuck?
One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers.
Ooh, kinky.
Kinky. When the surgery ended...
You like this organ? This could be yours.
Oh, no. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message.
I wouldn't give nothing to that guy. Like a pen? Are you kidding me? That's a weapon. That's honestly, a fucking weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that reminds me. I used to work in a psychiatric hospital for people who don't keep up. I've mentioned it before in the podcast, but we wouldn't let them have pens. Like we had these, they were special pens. They weren't like a regular pen. They were like small, kind of like the size of a golf pencil. Mm-hmm. That kind of, and they were made out of like a plastic. They were shitty. They were horrible to write with, but that's what we would give them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. But anyways, this was the message. Keep cutting.
Keep cutting.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Keep cutting what though? Does the surgery?
Yeah. It was when they were trying to rearrange his organs.
Is this a warning? Like, is this a warning that he's giving him?
I don't know.
Oh shit. Well,
I don't know. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well. Although they both had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously.
What? So they basically all chose to not go under anesthesia.
And they're awake and they're laughing.
As they're getting dissected on.
Yeah. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short amount of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured them.
Give me cocaine!
Yeah, basically. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given. I must remain awake.
I must remain awake.
Mm-hmm. All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced, and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. So they were like, what the fuck do we do with them now? Like, we can't reintegrate them back into society. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects.
They're like, fuck these guys. These guys are...
They're done.
Even though they're the fucking assholes doing this shit.
Yeah,
like,
it was their own fault.
Yeah, they deserved it, actually. Yeah. Good thing.
Good for you.
Good for you. Still fighting. Fucking A, man.
Oh, God.
Rip those fucking throats out.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, literally.
Twist those testicles.
Mm-hmm. The commanding officer, a former KGB agent, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. This guy's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that at that point, you're fucked up. You know, you're fucked up for even doing that. Yeah. So it's just like, you know what, we
already did the fucked up thing. Might as well go full blown fucked up.
Up to shit, up to, our belly button, our navel. Let's just take the full dip.
Might as well.
Jump into the swamp.
The researchers strongly objected, but were strongly overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all three stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. So they're like, oh, we're fine if we're going back. It's cool.
They were chill about it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Put me back.
I'm
okay,
glad.
Cool.
I'm glad I can get my cocaine.
My fixin'.
My fix.
It was obvious that at this point, all three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. Oh. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might. First left, then right. Then left again for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if they were repeatedly suffering from brain death before returning to normal. As they focused
like
on...
Like a heart monitor, that's
yeah.
what I mean, but for your brain, basically.
Yeah, but it would show that they were brain dead and then, like, back. So they're
They
basically like zombies, halfway zombies at this point.
They are zombies,
Yeah.
yeah. What the fuck? But, like, in a different way. They're mentally fucked.
Yeah. Oh, where'd it go? His brainwaves immediately changed to that of a deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time, and his heart simultaneously stopped. So another one bites the dust. So
another one bites the dust.
Okay. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brain waves showed the same flat lines as the one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. Oh, fuck that. They better be paying me so much money if I'm going to be in there.
Are you kidding me? They couldn't pay me enough money to be in there. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, that's fuck true. This, man.
But at this point, it sounds like they don't have much of a choice. You know, they were the ones saying, no, we don't want to put him back in, but they're like overruled. So I don't know how much autonomy they have in this case, you know?
It's the government.
It's probably like, you go in with them or we're going to kill you anyways.
Yeah. You're going in.
Yeah. you fucking go in.
I'm just the nerd here. You're going in.
You're going in, bud.
You're going in. You're next.
But I'm an intern. I'm just an intern. We don't give a fuck.
I'm an intern, that new guy. I just bring the coffee here. I don't understand what's going on.
Go in.
You're going in, bud.
Oh my god, we're just trying to make this a little more light.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Yeah, it's still yolking around,
of course. One of the named 3 researchers immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes.
What the
then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well.
So he was like, I'm not fucking around.
Yeah,
pop.
Yeah, so now there's only one subject left.
And then there was one.
Yes,
just like the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to the bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. So it's just them 2 at this point. I won't be locked in here. This is a quotation. I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you, he screamed at the man strapped to the table. What are you? He demanded. I must know. The subject smiled. Have you forgotten so easily? The subject asked. We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds at night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go into the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread.
The ego.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Some Freudian term, yes.
Something that we suppressed.
The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out. So nearly free. The end.
Wow. It's a great fucking story.
Yeah.
I think I had heard about it, but hearing the full detail, wow. I'm shook. Holy
I
fuck.
read this at like 9 in the morning.
Yeah? Would you think that it would have affected you if you would have read it a lot later or what?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah? Fuck.
Definitely.
To me, you know what? I don't see it as much of a spirit or demonic possession.
No.
I just think these guys went cuckoo, just got their brains fucked with so much that started acting up.
Yeah.
Something started coming out.
I don't know. It's scary because it actually happened, you know. It's something that could happen. There's been so many psychological experiments have gone wrong, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's so hard to study those things without stepping over the line or blurring the ethics line a little bit. You know, especially if we want to understand our mind. Maybe that's part of why we haven't been able to progress as much, because there's that ethical part of it. It's like, you want to fuck with people, but which is what the Nazis were doing, and obviously the Russians as well, fucking around with people and their minds to understand it. You know, I think it is said that I might be wrong, but it is said that a lot of the psychological knowledge that we got was because of the Nazis.
Oh,
like
really?
our advancements, because they had a lot of experiments.
Oh, wow.
They would fuck with people.
Shit, man.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good story.
Yeah.
What was that called? The Russian
sleep experiment.
The Russian sleep experiment. Oh, damn. That fucked me up a little bit.
That quote at the end, the subject's dying words were pretty creepy.
Well, maybe, like I said, maybe it's like that part of the mind that we suppress. Just that manifesting in an animalistic way. You know?
Yeah, that's what he was getting at.
Everything that you're told to say no, or not even, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's insane. Literally.
Your mind is a trip.
Yeah, your mind is a trip, and just literally kept these people from feeling pain, just blocked everything. It was something else that demanded to be freed. Maybe the lack of sleep. Maybe that's why they say that when we sleep, we dream, and then there's something being released, you know? Maybe
that's quite theory, yeah.
Maybe that basically, I don't know, evolved into something that took possession of the minds,
Yeah.
Just a nightmare.
Ugh.
But damn, great story.
It took longer than I expected. I read this so fast this morning, but I mean, it was worth the read, I'd say.
Yeah. Dang. Well,
what you got?
Well, I do have something for you guys. During the week, I was listening to this podcast of these people that, do cryptic and creepy podcast and sort of explain and elaborate it. And I heard about this Massachusetts Bridgewater Triangle that exists.
Okay.
So
I'm intrigued.
So
I've only heard of the Bermuda Triangle.
So a lot of people, and they also included that triangle in there. But basically, there's this triangle, and the reason why it's a triangle is because it's conformed of 3 towns. Okay. And I might pronounce this wrong. There's Freetown, Abington, and Rehoboth. Okay. Rehoboth, or something like that.
They're all in Massachusetts?
They're all in Massachusetts, yeah. Right, like, a little further away from, like, where the first fucking colony was. Yeah, literally Plymouth is, like, a few miles away.
Around the corner.
More than a few miles away, but it's relatively close.
Yeah.
So this, I think it was in the 70s, these cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologist?
Yeah, Lauren Coleman.
I've heard of zoology, but not of like cryptozoology.
So a cryptozoology, I actually have the definition here. Perfect. Their aim is to prove the existence of entities from folklore record, such as Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, Chupacabra, Thunderbirds, etc.
Whoa, what the heck is a Thunderbird? I've never heard of that.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. I'll just say kind of a little bit about it. Yeah. I want to actually talk about this belief of Thunderbirds in the Native Americans' culture. Okay. But anyways, so he's a cryptozoologist, Lauren Coleman, and he coined the Bridgewater Triangle.
That term?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because apparently they started finding out that there was UFO apparitions. A lot of people were saying that Bigfoot has been sighted there. I put on your little tinfoil hats for this one. And paranormal activity. So you get the trifecta of, horrific things in this little place. So they started seeing that people were disappearing. People were starting to see things around this area.
Yeah.
There's actually a rock called the Profile Rock that is located in one of these towns.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally looks like a chief, like a Indian chief,
a Native American chief.
And it looks like that, and you can see it. And apparently, they say that on top of it, people have spotted like this native appearance.
Oh.
And that dangles their feet. Apparently, it takes care of the sacred place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they see it, and they've also heard, like they hear, like they're dancing and celebrating in that specific place. But yeah, is this place that's like a 200 square mile vortex that expands in this triangle, like, which if you look at it on Google Maps, you can kind of see the triangle.
Is it a stretch?
It's a little bit of a stretch for me, but
What is it called again? I don't want to get an image of it.
Yeah. No, the Bridgewater Triangle.
Okay.
You can look it up.
You can keep going. Well.
So yeah, this cryptozoologist says, there's such thing as giant snakes, Bigfoot, and thunderbirds, and UFOs that have been appearing here. So during this time in this town, they have found like satanic rituals out in the middle of the. It's an interesting area because it's a forest and it's a swamp.
Oh.
It's a foresty swamp put together, so it's very fucking easy to get lost.
I bet.
Really fucking easy, or to land somewhere and not be able to like get out.
Oh, that's scary.
The natives called this swamp. They did not want anything to do with this area. But it also helped them and it protected them from other tribes and to try to like conquer them, because it served as a protection, basically.
All the mythical things that were happening.
No. So the first settlers there. Mm-hmm. I'm talking before even the people that came in to
the
colonize.
Natives.
Mm-hmm. And I have I should have the name of them right
of
here.
The tribe?
Of the tribe, yeah. I just don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
But I'll put the name on there just because I don't want to. I don't want to mispronounce something and,
Right.
Out of respect. But yeah, the first people that were here called it the place where spirit dwell.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find it. The place where spirit dwells. Because they would bury a lot of their people there.
Okay.
And throughout the years, you could see that since the first colonizers, the natives got in a fight with them.
Right.
So it's called the War of King Philip.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, they fight. The colonizers end up winning that battle. After it's said to be one of the bloodiest ones in America to happen. Basically, the natives rebelled. They were like, "No, you're not gonna treat us as slaves. You're not gonna do this." Started fighting, and then the colonizers ended getting the land. So a lot of people believe that it was cursed, either because of the deaths, the many deaths that happened, or because the natives set a curse. They're like, okay, you're going to get the land, but you're not.
Yeah. Things
are going to happen here. So, that's how the whole thing started there.
Mm-hmm.
And in this land, there has been UFO sightings. There has been...
Bigfoot sightings as well, is that what we said?
Yeah, Bigfoot sightings as well. And cryptids is what they're called.
Okay.
Which are thunderbirds, chupacabra, whatever, These beings are called cryptids.
Okay.
You were asking about what a thunderbird was,
Yeah.
right? A thunderbird is apparently the natives believed of this bird-like creature that had like a 10-foot to 8-foot wingspan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
That's
they would
huge.
soar through the air, and every time they flapped their wings, it was like a thunder, like because of how much air and how much
Right.
strength they would have in these wings. These powerful sound that it could produce with its wings.
Wow.
So that's why it's called a thunderbird. And
So they produce thunder.
I don't know if they produce thunder, but it just sounds like thunder.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Or thunder,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's. And we can investigate this further. Cause they just gave a brief explanation
Gotcha.
of him, and I'm like, oh, that would be a good episode. You know, studying cryptids.
I'm just wondering, how can someone make a living?
I know, right? It's just like no, and then there's like a lot of investigators that go over there, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm an investigator." Like, how do you proclaim yourself like an investigator? Basically, if you're like working at McDonald's, and then you go and it's like, "This is my thing. I'm an investigator."
Gosh.
You know.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of them are professors too. Like a lot of them are people that believe in this.
That would make sense.
And have like some sort of reputation.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So.
Had to somehow put that in there.
Yeah, there's this rock that is allocated in one of the towns called the Dayton Rock.
Dayton.
Yeah, and in this rock, there's some inscriptions, but they say that they don't belong to the natives.
Oh.
There's theories that it might be the Phoenicians, which were I don't know, like a society that lived in like pre-Roman, pre-Italy, kind of like around that area. It is said that they had already visited the Western Hemisphere.
Oh.
So Christopher Columbus was an idiot, basically, because he's like, no, that we already know about that. Plus, or it is said also that it could have been the Vikings.
Okay.
That inscribed something in this stone. Nobody's able to understand why it sits in the middle of Massachusetts.
Oh, so it's like an inexplicable.
Yeah, just a fucking what are those called? An obelisk, like an obelisk that is just sits there.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Yeah. Did you see a picture of it?
Yeah. It's a rock.
Is it pretty big?
It's kind of big, yeah. It's kind of big.
Like a boulder?
They even, I think, from what it looks like, they even have like a little... it's not like an altar, but like a little... Like it's actually enclosed, I think, or there's something...
So it's a site that
it's a site,
visit.
yeah. It's a site. That's exactly what it is. It's a site. It's it has its little, little plaques and explain the story, and there's like a little, I don't know what to call it, like a little garage looking thing, but it's not a garage. It's I don't know, like a little house.
Encapsulation.
Yeah.
To protect it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, there's tales of many and books that have been written off of this Bridgewater Triangle. Yeah. Well, it is said that Massachusetts is one of those states that is just filled with anomalies of such types. Wow. Just because of the history, but also because of the geography.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been people that say that whenever they have seen Bigfoot, that they see like this furry great thing, and obviously there's people that claim that they have seen it many times, and stuff like that. There's people that fully believe in this. I don't know, with Bigfoot is one of those things that I believe it until I see it, just because or until it kills me, I'll be like,
we go in there. Yeah, I mean, true. I'm not really one to believe in Bigfoot either, but I'm not like an extremist. It's like, oh, it doesn't exist and I know. Like, obviously I don't know. I don't even know what exists outside of our universe or anything, you know? Like, who are we to say that something exists or doesn't exist?
Or that some of these cryptids aren't bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
Some of these things might exist. They just, I don't know, they're something else. They're cryptids. They're not like, they don't behave as animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's something else to them.
Yeah. Humans are so curious. Like, why can't we just be like, oh, that's something, and just move on with our day? Like, we have to know the origins of something.
It's our brain, I think.
And the functionality.
Yeah, it's our brain telling us you have to understand, you know. For some people, they don't care.
Of course.
You know, like Trump supporters, and they just believe everything. You know. I'm just messing.
Facebook
Jeez.
is news, okay?
Yeah. Little story about it.
Interesting. I'm glad to have learned about it.
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to grab like a story specifically from there and then elaborate. But that would be in another podcast. You know, I just wanted to give you guys a little introduction of these areas.
Little taste.
And then we can, in future podcasts, we can elaborate in one of these stories.
Yeah.
That pertains. Maybe more than one, because there's different types. Maybe we could do a UFO one, a cryptid one, and a spirit one. Because there is stories for each one. But there is people have gone missing. There's people that have been found dead out of nothing. But I think we can get into the second story that you have. Let's transition back to another creepypasta.
All right, sounds good. I also want to preface this by saying this contains suicidality. So.
A lot of themes like that today.
Yeah. And it has, the imagery is pretty graphic on this one as well. So if you don't like graphic things, I wouldn't listen.
Just stop listening right here.
Yes. All right. Again, these aren't my words. Someone wrote this. And it's from a first person perspective. So whoever went through this actually wrote this. I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. That's cool. Mm-hmm. It wasn't paid, of course. Okay, but also fuck Dan Schneider. I hate him.
Yeah, my boss and I were talking about him the other day.
He's disgusting.
Like, because I didn't have a face to him. You know, I just knew his name.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you look at the guy and, you know, he looks a little weird.
He lived in his mom's basement, I'm sure. I want a shirt that says fuck Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
I would wear the shit out of that. Anyways, I digress. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would go crazy over it. Now, since I worked directly with editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. Wonderful movie, by the way. Top 10 personal movies.
The first one?
Yeah. The other ones are horse shit.
I like the third one. I like the one that was kind of different. I liked it.
That one was the one I semi-liked, but the one Sponge Out of Water, was that the one?
Yeah, that one. That one's horse shit. Don't waste your time watching horse shit.
I think it's probably because we grew up with it, you know, so we have like a different perspective.
It's like somebody took acid and made a SpongeBob movie.
Essentially, yeah.
That change of themes did not work. Yeah, very poorly made. The first one was a kick-ass, the Goofy Goober.
Fuck yeah.
The amount of memes that we've gotten, even Patrick's legs.
I was gonna do that for Halloween, but I didn't have enough time to prep. So
enough star-like features.
Yeah, next year I'll do that one probably.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you'll have to get like a piñata cone thing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's not that pointy. He's kind of smooth.
He's kind of roundish.
Yeah. But anyways, continue.
But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months. Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received a copy that was supposed to be Fear of the Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that it wasn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us. with phony, often lewd titles, such as How Sex Doesn't Work instead of Rockabye by Valve, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopted a sea scallop. So basically, when it shows the title of the SpongeBob episode.
Yeah. With they're just saying Hawaiian wording or
basically
background.
They're just saying that they would like goof off and put like fake titles in there.
Yeah, like fucking stupid shit.
Yeah.
They're fucking 30-year-olds, man, 20-year-olds. They still are.
Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke.
That's fucked up, man.
One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music plays as if normal. So, like, they played it off. It's whatever. The story began with Squidward practicing clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep down, as if he has a concert that night and needs to practice.
Okay.
SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy and with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we start to see the ending. Yeah.
Bubble splash.
We start to see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things began to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation. So yes, that's not common. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There is a slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo at him.
Okay.
Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid.
But isn't there malice if you're booing someone like that?
There is, but I feel like in like SpongeBob and like cartoons,
it was like more in a
like
playful kind of way.
Yeah, like boo, you stink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That cheesy booing.
Yeah,
basically.
the cheesy shit.
This was like get the fuck off the stage,
yeah,
boo.
Basically.
Oh shit
like that. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd, with SpongeBob in center frame, and he too is booing, very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes, very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet.
Oh, what the fuck? They were like, maybe they're trying something new here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because a lot of Nick cartoons are known for those hyper-realistic shows, which bring them back. Those are gruesome, but also fucking cool.
Do it tastefully.
Yeah, do it tastefully. Not eyes. That's fucking creepy.
The eyes are creepy, especially in cartoons.
Even that SpongeBob character, when he goes to the deeper side, that is like literally an eyeball.
Yeah.
That fucking guy was creepy as fuck. And he was as animated as he could be.
Yeah.
So
I
could just imagine, like fucking actual hyper realistic eyes.
Yeah. Ew. The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert.
Mm-hmm.
The unsettling part is that at this point there is no sound. Literally no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly.
So it was a shot of him just laying on the bed, but there was like no sound.
No sound.
Yeah.
He just sat there, blinking, in this silence for about 30 seconds.
Damn, they wanted to, they really wanted to personify the silence.
Yeah. Then he started to sob softly. He put his hands, or tentacles, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more.
I like how I didn't even judge that. I'm like, hands, yeah. Oh shit, tentacles, yeah.
Yeah. All the while, a sound in the background, very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart side by side. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit.
Well, but then, sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
But that would mean that the voice has to be pre-recorded, no? So Squidward's voice?
Maybe. Yeah, actually, I didn't think about that part.
Yeah, I mean, if there's, I would, unless it's just a random sobbing.
I don't know. But they say it was pretty bad, like the crying.
Like, you know,
full of hurt and anger is what it says.
like I could kind of picture a Squidward voice crying. You know what I mean? So I wonder if it had the same sound.
I don't know. That's a good point. Where was I here?
Plot hole in the story.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Just continue.
The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists in on itself. For a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slower and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is this sound, and Squidward's sobbing sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes. The sound was coming through from the other side. What? I don't get that part.
Well, that's explaining the vocals.
I guess.
Then that's explaining. It's like somebody was. It sounds to me, from what I'm understanding in the story, it sounds to me, and the little knowledge I have of sound, like someone was kind of imitating those sounds from somewhere.
Oh, could be.
That's what it sounds like to me.
As good as
pun intended.
As good a sound as the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be good to produce sound of that quality.
Nick doesn't have this budget. Come on.
Shit. So it was even clearer than normal. Like the audio is what they're trying to say.
No, yeah. I mean, I would understand that they have good budget, no?
I guess.
So it sounded hyper realistic.
Yeah, I guess. It was very clear. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it. We watched the show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over the screen, as if a single frame was replaced. The lead editor, paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied. One eye dangled over his upturned face, popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open and his entrails laying beside him.
What? He was gutted?
I guess, yeah.
What the fuck?
He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that it was a sick joke.
Wow. And this is said to happen in the studios of Nick, basically?
Well, they don't know where, how they got that tape or where it came from. Like, it's a mystery. It's
like they came back and something was kind of there playing.
Yeah. They said someone sent the video to them and they were like to preview it,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, take this out, add this maybe.
Potentially.
Okay.
At this point, cut the whole shit off.
Yeah, I mean, no, obviously.
But it gets worse. But I mean,
wait, what? We're not finished?
No,
I thought that was it.
No,
you took a brief pause. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
it keeps going. It keeps getting worse.
Oh shit. Well, let's fucking go.
The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body in frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes.
What the fuck?
The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if if you'd touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers.
Oh.
The wind sounded now as if it were part of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches, the laughing, a deep baritone, lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but he knew he had to. This time the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her.
Her what, I'm sorry?
It says barrettes. I'm not sure what barrettes are.
I don't know.
Her left eye was too popped out and popped.
What?
Naked except for underpants. Her entrails were piled on top of her, above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street, and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed.
What the fuck? So these frames are just coming randomly after showing Squidward,
like sobbing.
the sound is like somebody out there actually recording the sound.
Yeah. We're nearing the end of the story, but about 5 seconds after the second photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound, like it was when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyperrealism, like the others were in the beginning of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen, as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud. And most fear-inducing of all of this is his sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughing, and this time the photo lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time, the photo was of a boy, about the same age, but this time the scene was different. The entrails were just being pulled out of the stomach wound by a large hand.
Just.
Yeah, just. The right eye popped, and the dangling blood trickled down it. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe, but the next one was different, but we couldn't tell what.
I'm shocked that these people kept watching this shit, man.
I know, actually. I don't know.
It's my job. What do you want?
Yikes.
I gotta approve it. I'm still...
Yeah. He went on to the next, same thing. He went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor, the animating and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focused on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink.
What the fuck?
The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this. So the creator saw this too. Mr. Hillenberg arrived, legend by the way, arrived within about 15 minutes.
What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, how's the new episode going?
Yeah, do you guys like the new sound system that we got in here?
He was confused as to why he was called down here, so the editor just continued the episode.
You know I'm very busy now.
Why y'all got me here? Plays video.
Yeah.
So the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, full frame of the face, for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and that deep voice said, "Do it." All right, this is where the suicidal...
Oh, shit.
The suicidality comes in. Do it. And we see in Squidward's hands a shotgun. He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger.
What the fuck?
Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him in his bed, and he flies back with the force. The last 5 seconds of the episode show his body on his bed, on his side. One eye dangling on what's left of his head, above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. And then I guess they give a little theory. It says, Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. He demanded to know what the heck was going on.
I bet. If this is all true, I bet, man.
Yeah. I believe it's true.
There's some sick fucks out there. Yeah, 100%. There's some sick fucks out there. Like, they receive this fucking tape.
It's making me, I don't know, just like reading through it out loud, it makes me think of the dark web. I wonder if someone maybe like hacked into their episode and like edited it.
I think anything's possible, really.
That's
when
true.
It comes to like having technology and doing these fucked up videos. Yeah. Anything.
Most people left the room. Yeah. Most people left the room at this point. So it was just a handful of us watching it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and cause me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry I stayed.
Fuck.
The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze when it happened. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. Oh. So they edited, right before they saw it, it was edited like literally seconds before they started viewing it.
I don't know how they edit those things, so I have no idea how easily or how. I would imagine that it would be kind of hard to do.
Yeah. Especially since this was a while ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it was like cutting something and then pasting whatever else was there. I don't know anything about animation, so
yeah, me neither.
But I don't know if it's hard, if it would be hard,
Yeah.
or if it would be as easy as just copy and
cutting and yeah.
paste up, literally.
I don't know.
But anyway, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
So they received it in a fucking short amount of time, is what they're saying.
The new version of it.
The new version, okay.
All equipment involved was examined by foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have glitched and showed the wrong time, but everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened, and to this day, nobody does.
Well, and even then, it's just like it's footage that nobody would know about. It's just like, and it's not like it kept. Yeah, it did keep playing Squidward imagery, but it was also this other thing that was completely had nothing to do with SpongeBob. So it's just very weird.
Yeah, and obviously they wouldn't want the public to know about it because that would be very, very, very bad. Yeah. So they just, I'm assuming they never talked about it. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. No child scene was identified and no clues were gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues in the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before. But now that I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things. The author is unknown.
Well, I don't know. It's a good story, the author is unknown, so I don't know how real or not real it is, but I can tell you that they are very sick people out there.
But why would you want to self-identify, though? I feel like if this happened to me, I wouldn't want people to know that it happened to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. I guess,
and probably for legal reason.
Yeah. I mean, I see it more being that, just to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from anything, because you're like, you were behind everything, or you could have fucked up my kid. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's a lawsuit waiting to happen right there. Yeah.
That's crazy, though, huh?
Fuck, dude. That
it was pretty graphic.
Just imagine if something like that would have hit air. I mean, obviously there's filters, that they have to go through for those specific reasons. Right. I'm assuming for whatever reason, to not, impose something on a kid without knowing.
But things happen like that. It reminds me of what happened with Logan Paul a few years ago with his vlog. Do you remember?
Yeah.
With the suicide forest
in Japan.
Yeah.
That he
obviously this is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If it would have hit air, forget about it. But this idiot went out and actually showed, which is so fucking bizarre. Like somebody could just do that.
Yeah. But I guess my point is how easily things can infiltrate into the internet and into media.
Yeah, it only takes someone not doing their job correctly.
Yeah.
It literally does that. Like, it happens a lot in Facebook too. Like, people, I don't know why people have the tendency to post like very bad videos on, like horrific videos on the internet of people getting decapitated, and like I'm like, how the fuck do you even see that?
Like how do you bear to witness that?
I can't. I've never watched those videos. I've gone like on the feed or someone that someone posts something like that.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, nope.
Wow.
Nope. And there's even videos that get filtered through YouTube of people like straight up getting massacred. And yeah,
that's so scary.
I don't know how people can bear to watch those things. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook is at least trying. There's certain things that they'll put a filter on it and be like, oh, this may contain disturbing images. However, a lot of the time too, it's just like memes and like, oh, this isn't that disturbing,
Yeah. I mean, they have, it's very tight. I'm assuming, but the algorithm is just a machine. It could, it could still let a lot of things through.
Yeah, of course.
And then later they say, oh shit, this was not good, or people are reporting it, but in the meanwhile, people are observing it, and a kid could have access to that. So fuck. Yeah,
I feel like we're kind of beating a dead horse, but what I'm gonna say is just keep monitoring your kids' internet usage. Like, just do it.
Yeah, be more vigilant.
Yeah,
be more vigilant.
It's your responsibility as a parent at this point.
Yeah, like if you're gonna give kids access to your phone, I would say fucking be a hawk.
Yeah,
because with the whole what was it, Momo?
Oh, the Momo,
the fucking thing that was appearing on YouTube, like YouTube channels that were like made for kids or something like that. Was it Momo?
Yeah, it was Momo.
Yeah, like that shit was just appearing then, and then it would like say fucked up shit, and then do fucked up shit.
Talking Tom is another thing that I can think of.
What was that? I've never heard of Talking Tom.
It's some I think it's called Talking Tom. It was an app where you can talk to like a cat, and it was like telling kids to do fucked up shit.
What?
Or something like that.
Oh shit.
I could be wrong, but it's something messed up like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, I think with that we better stop. I think that was a good round of for Spooktober.
Yeah.
Great way to close Halloween.
I know, the month flew by.
It did. I'm making a vlog, so stay tuned to that. Basically, it'll include all of the fun activities that we did in the month of October. So
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, hopefully it comes out good. Let's see how my editing skills are. Don't
expect
much, but don't expect too little either. You little fucks.
Just a good amount.
Just 80%.
Yes.
I don't know. No, I you see me, I give 100%.
Of course.
All the time. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to do the section called What's Your Bop?
I almost forgot about it.
Yeah. So go ahead. What's your bop for the week?
Mine is RDMDA by Paloma Mami.
RDMDA. Oh, never heard it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We'll post it there, and it'll be available on the Yolking/Ecstasy playlist. The song that I have for today is La Camisa Negra by Juanes.
Nice. Good bop.
Good bop.
Do you see that Juanes has long hair now? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man.
Honestly.
Beautiful Colombian.
Yeah, he's pretty fine.
He's like wine. He just keeps getting better.
Yeah, I'm loving his long hair. Like just don't cut it ever.
Yeah. I feel like long hair should be a thing for more guys, you know.
It's so hot. If you're a guy, girl,
you like long hair? I didn't even know this. So, yeah, long hair.
Yeah,
it's a thing too. You know, a lot of girls don't like it. I'm assuming too. You know.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I like long.
I like it too. I like let your fucking shit grow.
Yeah.
Like a I don't know, like a Viking, like Thor. Even though he has short hair now. No, actually, not in the new movie. I think already grew.
Okay.
But yeah, more embrace your locks.
Yes,
that's the message.
Love your locks.
Love your locks, embrace your locks, and don't shit yourself while watching this, because that was really, really gruesome.
It's pretty intense.
Anything else you want to add?
Go do something fun after this. Don't delve into a deeper hole of horror. It's probably enough.
Yeah, and wait for the vlog. You can find me as Derek Mayo 92 on Instagram and DMay 92 on Snapchat and TikTok as well. I hope you guys liked it. Beautiful family.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay weary and stay weird. See you next time.